Hi folks, welcome to the Self-Love Podcast. So today we're going to be talking about how to stop comparing yourself to others and 4 things that you can do instead. Okay, so comparison, somewhere along the lines it's a little bit primitive when it comes to the fact that we are organic species on this planet. There's an element of comparison that comes with that. That is natural. That's not the comparison that I'm talking about in this video, okay? That doesn't hurt us deeply. That doesn't keep us unhappy, unjoyful. It's quite natural, and our animal instincts, most of the time, will have been pretty present, right? And those fear-based primitive attributes of a human could possibly come through the ego every now and again when we feel threatened. That's normal, okay? What is engulfing our human life is a comparison that comes from the click of a button. Okay, we click a button, we open up our laptop, our phone, our iPad, whatever, we go outside, we see everybody else's businesses, everybody else's lives, everybody else's glamorous lifestyles at the click of a button. Back in the day when we were just like a little bit more localized, we might open our windows, peep through to our next door neighbour, notice that they've got a nice pair of curtains, think, shit, mine are just like full of cobwebs and spiders. And then think, could do with them curtains, right? It's not quite as on a bigger scale as it is now. And this is a real pandemic of the time, yeah? We see a 2D square and we formulate a whole narrative around somebody's life because of something they've decided to show us. Remember, people only show you what they want you to see. Okay, that's coming later. Okay, so stick around because we're going to come into the 4 points in a second. The last point is by far the most important. But for now, what are the things that we might compare ourselves to in this modern day world with others, and why? So some of these very fleeting external things like money, looks, possessions, jobs, job titles, lifestyles, all of these things that we look upon another person and we think, I don't have that. What's wrong with me? We look at somebody on a video, for example, and think, they've got nice skin. Mine doesn't look like that when I'm on a video. Or they've got a good character. I'm not like that when I'm on a video. Why can't I do that? What's wrong with me? Why am I not worthy enough? They seem to have a lot of money in their bank, because everybody likes to show how much money they've got in the bank now and like a little status on Facebook. And it's like, you know what I mean? We believe those things and we deem them as truths, whether they are or they aren't truth. We seem to attach ourselves to that thing, and then we see where we're lacking in our bank account, or where we're lacking in our possessions, where we're lacking with the amount of cars we have or what cars we have, where we're lacking when it comes to the fact that we might be growing older, and youth was once part of our own personal narrative. Everything that we are displayed with nowadays is an opportunity for us to beat ourselves up for something that we don't have. Okay, now if we focus our energy on those exterior concepts, if we focus our energy on these very fleeting props, as I like to call them, then we are totally wasting our time. Now, the 4 things that I'm going to give you are tools that you can start to bring into your daily life, or ways in which you can start to stop comparing yourself because you're starting to focus your attention on something internal instead of something external. Now, if we're focusing all of our attention on money, looks, possessions, other people's money, looks, possessions, businesses, careers, things, shiny objects that they like to show us, how well somebody's doing, etc. If we focus our happiness and our joy on those things and compare ourselves to those people, essentially one day we are going to go out of fashion. Yeah, because all of these things, money, looks, possessions, power, are props. They come in fashion and they go out of fashion. One thing that will never go out of fashion is your own uniqueness. Your own uniqueness to this planet. That will never go out of fashion. Money comes and goes. bank balances get bigger and smaller, looks come and go, youth goes, life comes and goes. Anything that we collect and want to keep and attach ourselves to, we want to grasp at all of these exterior possessions and things. And if we are using those things as our identity, and when we feel like we don't have those things, then we're comparing ourselves to other people who have got those things, we're going to become very, very fickle, and we are going to never fill a void, and we are going to become unhappy, essentially, continuously looking for something that we don't have, instead of looking inside of ourselves at the things that we do have. Okay, so whenever it comes to comparing ourselves with exterior things, we are always in a losing battle. Now, the 4 things that I'm about to talk about right now, 4 things you can add into your daily life right now that are going to stop you from comparing yourself to others, are real things. Okay, real things that are essentially going to help you to stop comparing yourself to others, because you've shifted your focus. You've shifted your focus from what's out there, in all these little Instagram squares and all this crazy, hyper-stimulated, shiny object syndrome world, and you're going to take the focus, you're going to bring it in here instead, to the only place that actually matters. Okay, so let's go through these 4 things that you can bring into your daily life today that are going to help you to remove comparison. Okay guys, so number 1, be unique. Be unique to you. Instead of focusing your energy on other people's superficial possessions, looks, money, power, lifestyles, all of these things that you see in other people online that are essentially making you feel like you are lacking somewhere along the lines. Instead of focusing your energy on those very fickle, very fleeting and very superficial phenomena, instead focus your energy on your truth, on being unique to you, being authentic, allowing your authentic expression to be shown to the world, okay? Because in that space, there's no such thing as comparison, because when you're being truthful and authentic to yourself, you don't need to compare yourself to others, because you recognize that the creator that made you perfect, made you unique, and to change what is already created as the perfect mechanism is a disharmony to your very existence. That is number 1. It's so important as well. So be unique to you. Every time you are about to go, oh, they've got a better life than me. I wish I had that cocktail. Yeah, I wish I had that money in my bank. Look at all their things. Look how good her skin looks. Every time you're about to do that, or even if you have done it, come back to yourself and go, wait, how can I focus in here instead of out there on the things that really matter, instead of the things that are fashionable, yeah? You know the algorithms nowadays, they're moving so fast. That is the same as anything exterior. These are all just props, yeah? Money, prop. Possessions, prop. Outfits, prop. Face, body, prop, yeah? Stop focusing on the props, start focusing on the real thing, and that's you. Okay, so number 2. Number 2 is, you might not like this very much, but hey ho, we're going to go for it anyway. Number 2 is, find the parts of you that you would deem as shortcomings and love them exactly the same as the parts of you that you like. That was a long sentence, okay? So release the shadows and love them and accept them. Why is this really important for stopping yourself with that strong, consistent comparison? Now, essentially, when we compare ourselves to others, we look at something in ourselves that we think is lacking, and therefore we think we aren't good enough. So that person has this and I don't have it, but I desire it. So we compare ourselves to it. Now, that's not because we're lacking. That's not because we haven't got something, because we're perfectly whole as we are in this unique being that has been created, that is perfectly worthy for this planet. The reason that we think we're lacking is because we have decided to build up a big subconscious pattern of various different beliefs about our own self-image and what we are capable of and what we're not capable of. And we've held them deep within us, deep ingrained into the core of our being, and we believe them to be true. So for example, let's say there's a very calm and content, angelic-like person speaking on a video, and you think, oh, well, maybe for me to have the life that they've got, I need to be this calm, content, angelic person on my video. That's something I desire. Now, why is that something you desire? I'm giving you an example of something that I've done in my past, that's all. So why is that something that you desire? Why would I desire to be this calm, content, angelic person on a video instead of being myself? And essentially, I've done a little bit of work on this myself, okay? And I've compared myself to the calm, content, angelic person in the past, and I've recognised what it is in me that felt lacking. And it was essentially because I'd suppressed, repressed and hidden parts of me that I was ashamed of, okay? I'm not ashamed of them now. I love them now, okay? And that's part of what stopped me from comparing myself to the calm, angelic person, right? So that part that I'd hidden was very much to do with part of my personality that was a little bit frantic, a little bit fiery, who spoke really fast, yeah? I thought that was not a good part of my personality, that was not a good part of my character. And until I unearthed that and brought it to the surface and recognised that there was nothing wrong with that part of my personality, it was just something that I had decided to suppress and not love. And therefore, I compared myself to somebody that was opposite because it directly reflected something that I'd suppressed inside of myself. Now, if you make friends with your shadows, or the things that you think are shortcomings that are not shortcomings, it's bullshit. You just made it up. It's not a shortcoming. If you bring the shortcomings, I'm just going to label them as that so we know what we're talking about, to the surface, and love them the same as your more desired parts of your personality, because you've decided they're the more desired parts. If you love every single part of you and learn to accept every single part of you and befriend all of it, you will not need to compare yourself to others ever again, because you've accepted every part of you. So there's nothing lacking. When there's nothing lacking, then when you look at somebody else and they've got something that you don't have, they don't, because there's nothing lacking. Okay, so you're already whole. Again, this is coming back to the statement that we have been created on this planet as a working mechanism, as a human being that is already whole. It's all of these little attachments and these external phenomena, possessions, looks, money, power, that we attach ourselves to, that we think are what make us good. We think they're the things that people that people might desire about us, that make us a strong, courageous, successful person on this planet, and it's simply not true. Our unique, authentic state is what creates that. Okay, so that is number 2. Now stay around for the last tip, because that is definitely the most important tip that is coming up in a couple of moments. So there you have it. Number 1, be unique. Number 2, accept the parts of yourself, love them identically to the parts that you think are more constructive. Okay, so love every part of yourself. Number 3, okay, this is how you can get rid of comparison today. Remember that 2D square that you are presented with daily on every single platform that you look on is just a facade, okay? That is what somebody else decided to show you. Remember, people only show you what they want to show you. They don't show you what happened before that 2D square, and they don't show you what happened after that 2D square. They show you the 2D square. They show you the really nice cocktail on the beach with a beautiful, fresh face, beautiful skin that's just been done, right? With probably a couple of filters on. That's what's shown. They don't show you the argument that they had before. They don't show you the business that they're struggling with afterwards. They don't show you that multifaceted, multi-dimensional human life that we all live. That's beautiful and challenging and painful and joyful in a split second. They show you only the boring, flat, characterless. Yeah, essentially it's characterless. Ironically, we crave it, but it's characterless part of their human life. They don't show you what's happening afterwards. They don't show you behind the scenes in their home, what's happening in the domestic environment. Yeah? So we're comparing our lives to a two-dimensional square that is not true. So think about this deeply. Every time we're trying to compare our lives to somebody else's life, remember, people only show you what they want you to see. You know that because you've done it before, right? But the beauty of life is everything that's outside of that box. And deep down you know it. Deep down you know it. Okay, so that's the third thing. People only show you what they want you to see, and the good bits are all around that square. It's not that square itself. So whenever you're trying to compare yourself to somebody else's perfectly flat two-dimensional square where they're on holiday, remember they're only showing you what they want you to see. Yeah, and it's a false representation of a multi-dimensional, beautiful human life. And instead of feeling envious or jealous about that 2D square, instead think about compassion. Think that person is in this life with me and they're going through exactly the same things because they're human. And how can I start to think about them as a sister or a brother or part of my species that I know very well that suffers and has pain and has loss and has joy and love and all of this in one given second? How can I have compassion towards them and love them instead of wanting to fight against them? Okay, last point, and by far the most important point to really thinking about stopping comparison today. Be present. Be present. This is easier said than done, not going to lie. It totally is. You've probably tried it. Meditation, yoga, working with the breath, working with the mind. They're all challenging things to do, but essentially the more tools we can put into our life on the regular that allow us to come back to the present moment are going to really help us to come back to that lack of comparison. And I'll tell you why. When we're in the present moment, we are not connected to all of those past belief systems that we've made up about ourselves. Well, we're not good enough. Yeah, all of these limiting beliefs that we've kept with us that controlled our life, the sort of like repetitive mantra that's formed our self-image throughout our life. When we have that and it ties us to this comparison that we feel for others, and essentially it shapes our future, every time we come back to the present moment, we are saying to ourselves, I am already good enough right here, right now. I am in harmony with my true nature. I am in harmony with my true being. The only thing that I need to do to feel good about myself is to recognize that I already am everything that I need to be. And so essentially the present moment, it connects us back to the breath, it connects us back to the gift of life, it reminds us of gratitude. When we have gratitude, we can't have comparison, they don't work together. And the more we practice presence, the more we start to rewrite the mantra that we've played to ourselves in the past. The more we start to rewrite the limiting beliefs and the self-criticism and the insecurities that we feel about ourselves. And the more we start to integrate into the present moment with our unique voice that is unique to us, it doesn't need comparison, because nobody can compare with that, because it's you. Okay, so that is it from me today. Thank you so much for tuning into Self-Love Secrets. Remember, when you're focusing on external things to make you happy, you want a loser's game. Focus in here. Mwah!